Ladies and gentlemen, we all dream, we all have ambitions, but not everyone becomes a winner. And the difference is not always talent, skill, or resources, it's a mindset. A winner doesn't simply win by chance. They win because they've decided to, because they've prepared to, because they built a mindset that refuses to accept defeat. Let me tell you something, you don't need a perfect start to finish strong. Winners understand that setbacks are a part of the journey, but what makes them different is they see challenges as opportunities to grow. They embrace adversity because it sharpens them, makes them tougher, more resilient. A winning mindset is built on belief, not just belief in your dreams, but belief in yourself. You have to see the victory before it happens. You have to speak it into existence. Winners talk to themselves like they've already made it. They don't dwell on the failure, they focus on what's next. They know that success is not the absence of failure, but the mastery of perseverance. Now, here's the truth, you'll be tempted to quit. There will be days when the mountain looks too high, the road too long. But a winner doesn't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're done. When the work is finished. Winners don't back down. When the pressure rises, they rise to meet the pressure. Don't wait for someone to hand you your victory. Winners know that nothing worth having comes easy. They work for it. They hustle for it. They grind every single day, knowing that the only person who can truly stand in their way is the one in the mirror. So to be a winner, you need discipline, focus, and relentless drive. You need to make a choice every day to outwork, outthink, and outlast every obstacle that comes your way. Because the mind of a winner is built in the grind, refined in the fire, and tested in the face of every challenge. Remember, you decide if you're a winner long before anyone else sees it. Winning isn't about luck, it's about persistence, faith, and the refusal to give up. Adversity, it's the thing we all want to avoid, but it's the very thing that shapes us. See, no one ever became a winner by living in their comfort zone. Comfort is where dreams go to die. But adversity is where winners are made. When life throws a storm your way, you've got two choices. You either let it knock you down or you learn how to dance in the rain. Winners understand that every setback is setting them up for something greater. They don't shy away from the hard times, they embrace them because they know that in the struggle they're being refined. Like gold in the fire, adversity burns away the weakness, the doubts, the excuses. It leaves you stronger, tougher, ready for what's next. There's a lesson in every challenge. Every mountain you face is teaching you how to climb. It's teaching you patience, resilience, and grit. When things don't go your way, you have a choice. You can complain about the problem, or you can become the solution. Winners choose the latter. They dig deep. They push harder. They find a way when there seems to be none. You see, adversity doesn't break a winner. It builds them. They don't just endure hardship. They learn to thrive in it. They don't just survive the struggle. They conquer it. And once they've overcome that one obstacle, they're ready for the next. It's a cycle. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every loss, a lesson. Every failure, a foundation. But here's the thing, it's not just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. It's about turning adversity into fuel. Winners take that pain, that disappointment, that rejection, and they use it to propel themselves higher than before. They understand that the bigger the battle, the sweeter the victory. So the next time life tries to knock you off course, don't shrink back. Don't complain about how hard it is. Stand tall. Stand firm. And remember, the adversity you face today is making you the person who can handle the success you're destined for tomorrow. Winners aren't defined by the easy times. They're defined by how they rise in the hard times. Because the truth is, anyone can be strong when things are going well, but only a winner knows how to find strength when everything seems to be falling apart. That's when true character is revealed. That's when greatness is born. So don't run from adversity. Embrace it. Because every challenge is preparing you for something greater. Every storm is clearing the way for your breakthrough. And every time you refuse to quit, You're proving to yourself and the world that you're a winner, not because it's easy, but because you face the fire and come out stronger. You have to see it before anyone else does. Success doesn't just happen, it starts in your mind. Before you can achieve it, you've got to believe it, and before you believe it, you've got to see it. Winners know this power in visualization. It's not just wishful thinking, it's creating a roadmap in your mind. It's seeing the finish line before you even take the first step. When you close your eyes and imagine that success, it becomes real. You can feel it, you can taste it. You can walk into it mentally long before it shows up in the physical world. And when you've already been there in your mind, when that vision is crystal clear, nothing can stop you. That's because you're no longer hoping for success, you're expecting it. You're moving like it's already done. But here's the thing, visualizing success doesn't mean you're ignoring the grind. No, it means you've set your direction. It means you know where you're headed. You see yourself standing on that stage, signing that contract, crossing that finish line. You see yourself winning, and that vision becomes your fuel. It drives you forward on the days when nothing is going right. It pushes you when you feel like giving up. Because once you've seen the end in your mind, you can't settle for anything less. Winners walk into rooms like they belong there. Not because they're arrogant, but because they've already been there in their minds. They've prepared for that moment. They've visualized it so many times that when the opportunity shows up, they're ready. They're not surprised by success because it's not an accident. It's a result of relentless belief and vision. There's power in this. When you start seeing yourself as successful, your actions begin to align with that vision. You start moving differently. You start thinking differently. You start making decisions that lead you closer to that image in your mind. And before you know it, that picture you've been holding on to, that vision of success, it starts to manifest in the real world. But you've got to be committed to that vision. It's not a one-time thing. You have to hold it in your mind every day. You have to see it when no one else does. When the road gets tough, when the people around you don't believe, when the results aren't showing up yet, you've got to keep seeing it, keep believing it. That's how winners stay motivated. That's how they stay focused. Because the picture in their mind is so clear, so vivid, that nothing can blur it. And let me tell you, once you start living with that kind of vision, the world has no choice but to make room for you. Because what you see in your mind will eventually become what you hold in your hands. Success starts with how you see yourself. If you can visualize it, you can achieve it. So go ahead, see yourself winning. See yourself achieving everything you've ever dreamed of. See it, feel it, and walk in it, because what you see is what you'll become. The way you talk to yourself matters. It matters more than you think. Every day there's a conversation going on in your mind, and you are the one in control of that dialogue. The words you speak to yourself, they're shaping you, molding you, directing your actions. If you're telling yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable, guess what? You're going to believe that. And the moment you believe it, you start acting like it's true. But winners, they don't entertain that kind of talk. They know that the most important voice they listen to is their own. You can have the whole world doubting you, telling you that you won't make it, that the odds are stacked too high. But what matters is what you say to yourself when no one's around, when it's just you and your thoughts. When a winner looks in the mirror, they don't just see where they are right now, they see where they're going. They tell themselves, I'm built for this. I can handle this. I will overcome this. It's not arrogance, it's confidence rooted in the belief that they're more than capable of rising to any challenge. That kind of self-talk is powerful. It shifts your mindset. It turns obstacles into stepping stones and failures into fuel. But it's not enough to just think positive thoughts here and there. You've got to be intentional about it, and you've got to train your mind to speak life into every situation. When doubt creeps in, you've got to be quick to shut it down. Tell yourself, I've got what it takes. I've been through worse, and I'm still standing. Winners don't let fear and negativity linger. They replace it with words of strength, words of victory, words that move them forward. And don't get me wrong, it's not about pretending everything's perfect. Winners don't ignore the hard truths. They know when things are tough. But instead of dwelling on the problem, they focus on the solution. Instead of saying, this is impossible, they tell themselves, I'll find a way. That's the difference. It's a shift in how you frame the situation. One small change in your words can lead to massive changes in your actions. You've got to talk to yourself like a winner, even before the wins start showing up. It's not about waiting for success to come and then changing how you speak. No, it's the other way around. You speak success, you speak victory, and then your life starts to follow that direction. You start believing in yourself at a deeper level, and that belief turns into action, and that action turns into results. Here's the truth: if you don't control the conversation in your mind, the world will do it for you. And the world isn't always kind. The world will tell you you're not enough. But winners, they've learned how to block that noise. They've learned to tune out the external voices and turn up the volume on their own inner voice. And that voice, it's saying, keep going. You're closer than you think. You were made for this. So be careful with how you talk to yourself, because every word matters. Every thought is shaping your reality. You want to win? Start by speaking like a winner. You want to succeed? Speak success into your life, even when it feels far off. Because what you tell yourself today will determine where you end up tomorrow. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. One day you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to take on the world. But the next day, that fire isn't there. You're tired. You don't feel like it. That's when most people stop. That's when most people wait for that spark of motivation to come back. But winners don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on feelings. They rely on discipline. Discipline is what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. It's easy to be motivated when everything's going your way, when the sun is shining, when you're full of energy. But what happens when life hits you? When things get hard? When you're not feeling it? Discipline says, I'll show up anyway. Discipline says, I made a commitment to myself and I'm going to honor it no matter how I feel today. Motivation is temporary. It's a mood. It's a burst of energy that can get you started, but it won't keep you going. Discipline, though, that's your foundation. It's what gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. when you'd rather sleep. It's what makes you put in the extra hours when no one's watching, when no one's cheering you on. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. There are going to be days when you don't feel like grinding, when everything in you is telling you to take it easy, to rest, to let someone else outwork you. That's when discipline kicks in, because discipline isn't about feeling, it's about commitment. It's about doing the work even when the excitement is gone, even when the results are slow to show up. You see, winners know that success isn't built on motivation. It's built on habits. It's built on consistency. Motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you across the finish line. Every day you've got to make a choice. Are you going to wait until you feel like it, or are you going to show up regardless? That's the difference. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting, but that's what separates the good from the great. The truth is, if you rely on motivation, you'll always be chasing it. You'll always be waiting for the right mood, the right moment. But if you build discipline, you don't need to chase anything. You create your own momentum. You become unstoppable because you're not controlled by how you feel. You're controlled by your goals, by your purpose. Think about it, the champions, the ones at the top of the game, they don't rely on bursts of motivation to get through the tough days. They don't wait for inspiration to strike before they get to work. No, they're disciplined. They have a routine. They have non-negotiables. They show up day in and day out, whether they're inspired or not. That's what makes them winners. They've trained their minds to push through, to stay focused, even when the excitement fades. And here's the thing: discipline builds character. Every time you push through when you don't feel like it, every time you follow through on a commitment, you're strengthening your mind. You're teaching yourself that you can be trusted, that you can rely on yourself. And that trust in yourself, that's powerful. That's what breeds confidence. That's what keeps you going long after the motivation is gone. So don't wait for motivation to show up. Don't sit around hoping for that spark to ignite. Create your own fire through discipline. Be the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter what. Because in the end, it's not about how you feel today, it's about what you want for tomorrow. And the winners, they're the ones who stay disciplined when motivation runs dry. That's what sets them apart. That's what makes them great. Work ethic. It's the foundation of everything. Talent might get you noticed, but work ethic, that's what keeps you there. That's what builds something lasting. You see, a lot of people have talent. A lot of people have potential. But talent without hard work is wasted. It fades, it fizzles out. The real winners, they're the ones who understand that no matter how gifted they are, it's the grind that makes the difference. When you have a strong work ethic, you don't wait for the perfect conditions. You don't wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. You create your own opportunities. You put in the hours when no one else is watching. You do the work when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's repetitive. Because you know that success doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's necessary. Every single day. It's easy to talk about goals, to dream about success. But the work, the daily, unglamorous grind, that's where the magic happens. Winners know that there are no shortcuts. There's no easy path to greatness. It's sweat. It's sacrifice. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. That's the price. And if you're not willing to pay it, you'll always be on the outside looking in. But here's what people don't tell you: work ethic is about more than just working hard. It's about how you work. It's about attention to detail. It's about doing your best, even when the task seems small, even when it feels like no one will notice. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you cut corners on the little things, you'll cut corners on the big things. But when you put in the work, when you give your all, no matter how small the task, that's when you start building something real. That's when you separate yourself from the rest. People often see the results of success, the accolades, the achievements, but what they don't see are the late nights, the early mornings, the countless hours of preparation. They don't see the grind behind the scenes. That's what a strong work ethic is. It's about being willing to put in the work when nobody's clapping for you, when nobody's giving you praise, because you're not doing it for the applause, you're doing it for the result. You're doing it because you know that the only way to get what you want is to work for it. And let me tell you something, the ones with the strongest work ethic aren't just working when they feel good, when everything is going their way. They're working when they're tired, when they're stressed, when life is throwing everything it has at them. Because they understand that consistency beats intensity every time. Anyone can work hard for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But winners, they work hard for years. They build habits. They stay disciplined when others fall off. Work ethic isn't just about the hours you put in. It's about what you do with those hours. It's about being efficient, being focused, and being relentless in your pursuit. There are no off days when it comes to your dreams. You can rest, but you don't quit. You keep moving forward, inch by inch, step by step. And over time, that hard work compounds. It builds momentum. It creates opportunities. It turns dreams into reality. But it all starts with your work ethic. There are no secrets. There's no magic formula. It's just the grind. The commitment to doing what needs to be done day in and day out. And when you have that level of work ethic, success isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because at the end of the day, work ethic beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And the ones who truly understand that, they're the ones who rise to the top. They're the ones who succeed, not because it was handed to them, but because they earned it. So if you want to win, if you want to achieve something great, remember this: work ethic is everything. It's the difference between dreaming and doing. It's the difference between hoping and achieving. And it's the difference between staying where you are and reaching the heights you were meant to climb. Persistence. That's the difference between those who make it and those who fall short. It's easy to start something, easy to get excited at the beginning of a journey. But when the road gets tough, when the obstacles start piling up, that's when most people quit. That's when most people tell themselves, maybe this isn't for me. But winners, they don't quit. They don't stop when things get hard. They dig deeper, they push through. Because they know that the prize doesn't go to the one who's the fastest out the gate. It goes to the one who keeps going, no matter how rough the road becomes. See, success isn't about never failing. It's about refusing to let failure have the final say. Everyone gets knocked down. Everyone faces setbacks. But the winners, the ones who rise to the top, they have something different inside of them. They've got persistence. It's not about how many times they've been knocked down. It's about how many times they've gotten back up. Every time life hits them, they hit back harder. You have to understand, persistence isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's just about grinding through the days when everything feels like it's falling apart. It's about staying the course when everyone else has lost faith, when the voices around you are telling you to give up. Persistence is doing the work when the results aren't showing up yet, when the progress is slow, when it feels like nothing is happening. It's the willingness to keep moving forward, even when every step feels heavy. You see, persistence is about belief in yourself, belief in your vision. It's knowing that every effort you make is building towards something greater, even if you can't see it yet. It's trusting the process, trusting that the seeds you're planting will one day grow. Winners know this. They know that the journey isn't about instant gratification. It's about long-term commitment, about showing up day after day, putting in the work, and trusting that the payoff will come. And here's the truth, there will be times when nothing seems to be going your way. Times when it feels like the universe is testing you, pushing you to your limit. That's when persistence matters most. Because anyone can stay motivated when things are going well. Anyone can keep going when the path is clear and the destination is in sight. But persistence is about holding on when the road gets dark, when the setbacks come one after another, when the doubts start creeping in. Winners understand that it's not about how fast they get there, it's about never stopping. They know that every challenge, every roadblock is part of the process. It's not something to run from. It's something to face head on. And with every challenge they overcome, they get stronger, they get wiser, and they get closer to their goal. Persistence isn't flashy. It's not the thing that gets you applause, but it's the thing that gets you results. It's quiet, it's steady, it's relentless. It's about being willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Because the truth is, success rarely happens overnight. It's the product of countless hours, countless failures, countless times where you had every reason to quit, but you didn't. You stayed the course. You persisted. So if you want to win, if you want to reach your goals, you've got to embrace persistence. You've got to commit to the long haul. Understand that setbacks are part of the journey, but they're not the end. They're just obstacles on the way to your destination. And every time you overcome one, you're proving to yourself that you've got what it takes. Every time you persist, you're building the resilience, the strength, the determination that will carry you across the finish line. Because in the end, persistence is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what separates those who talk about what they want from those who actually go out and get it. It's not about never falling down. It's about never staying down. That's the key. That's what makes a winner. It's not the talent. It's not the luck. It's the persistence to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep believing when the world is telling you to quit. And if you can do that, if you can persist through the tough times, through the doubts, through the pain, then nothing can stop you from reaching your destiny. You've got to take ownership of your journey. Every step, every decision, every result, good or bad, is yours. The moment you start blaming other people, other circumstances for where you are in life, that's the moment you give away your power. Winners don't play the blame game. They understand that success, failure, progress, or setback, it all starts and ends with them. They take full responsibility, not just for their victories, but for their struggles, their mistakes, and their missteps too. When you own your journey, you understand that nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. Nobody's going to give you the life you want. That's on you. And when you fully accept that, you unlock a new level of freedom and control. You stop waiting for things to happen, and you start making them happen. You become the driver of your own life, not a passenger hoping someone else will steer you in the right direction. But ownership isn't just about accepting responsibility for the outcome. It's about owning the process. It's about owning the grind, the hard work, the long hours. It's about owning the decisions you make every day, even when nobody's watching. Because success doesn't just show up one day. It's built brick by brick, decision by decision. And when you take ownership of every part of that process, you take ownership of your future. Here's the thing, when you own your journey, you stop making excuses. You stop pointing fingers at the obstacles, the difficulties, the setbacks. Instead, you say, this is my path. These are my challenges, and I will overcome them. That's a shift in mindset. That's the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and being the master of your destiny. Winners understand that they control how they respond to adversity. They don't waste time complaining about the cards they've been dealt. They focus on how they're going to play them. Life isn't always fair, and it won't always go the way you planned. But the ones who succeed are the ones who own it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and make no excuses for where they are. They own their past, their present, and their future. Owning your journey also means understanding that you're responsible for your growth. Nobody's going to force you to learn, to improve, to evolve. That's on you. If you're not where you want to be, you have the power to change that. You can invest in yourself. You can get better. You can sharpen your skills, refine your craft, and push yourself beyond your limits. But you have to own that responsibility. You have to want it more than you want the comfort of staying where you are. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. You give yourself the green light. You create your own opportunities. You knock on doors, and when they don't open, you kick them down. Because you know that nobody owes you anything. Success isn't given, it's earned. And the only way to earn it is by owning every part of the journey. But ownership also means accepting the failures, the mistakes, the times when things don't go your way. It's easy to take ownership when you're winning, when the applause is loud, when the success is flowing. But true ownership means standing tall when things fall apart, when you stumble, when the results don't match your expectations. It's about saying, that's on me, and then figuring out how to fix it, how to grow from it, how to come back stronger. Winners own their journey because they know that no one else is responsible for their success. Not their circumstances, not their background, not their environment. They are. They know that the power to shape their future lies in their hands, and they refuse to give that power away to anyone or anything else. That's real ownership. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who settle. So if you want to win, if you truly want to achieve greatness, you've got to own everything. Own the vision, own the grind, own the failures and the setbacks, own the hard days when you don't feel like pushing forward. Because when you take full ownership of your journey, nothing can stop you. You become unstoppable because you're no longer waiting on anyone else to determine your destiny. You're in control, you're driving. And the road to success, that's entirely yours to build. Now go with the mind of a winner. Your victory is waiting.